Hello Snowypoint Temple, this is OminousAcid95, aka Mike, and it has been quite a while. The Snowpoint Temple hasn't been uploading for a while, but now that it has been uploading, I figured I'd just send in another upload of mine. And what I wanted to do is just some Pokemon Showdown live. I want to construct a team with you guys. And what actually happened, I don't know whether they implemented it yet on Pokemon Showdown, but the new tier starting the 1st of July 2013 meant that Mandibuzz actually dropped down to NU, and therefore I wanted to build a team around there. Now, Mandibuzz is a very interesting Pokemon. I shall start to make a team, then we can look at it. Let's see here, Mandibuzz NU at Pokemon Mandibuzz. So we can use that. Yes, we can. I hope we can. Let's just see whether it actually is in there. Because we can do it like this, just erase it. Let's wait for it to be in here. Let's see if it's implemented yet. It seems not to be implemented yet, but I hope that it works. If I do it like this, I shall just test whether it is indeed the case, whether we can or cannot. And yes, indeed it has been implemented, so that is extremely good. Now, as you can see, Mandibuzz is very bulky. It has a base hidden power, a base health point stat of 110, and then a defense stat of 105 and a special defense stat of 95, which is very bulky. Now, its attack and special attack stats do lag a little bit at 65 for attack and 55 for special attack, and then its speed is not as bad as well. Now, they generally run a defensive set, and I figured that I'd just do that as well. Now, out of the top of my head, besides Honchkrow and Murkrow, I believe that the what should I call it? That Mandibuzz is actually the only dark flying type Pokemon, which is very interesting since Murkrow is really the only poke out of those other two that you can use, because Honchkrow is actually UU. Now, what you can see right here are the viable moves. These are what you generally run, and what is pretty handy in just in battling, what a lot of people do not use is actually Foul Play on Mandibuzz, and Foul Play is a move which uses the opponent's attack stat to calculate, so therefore it doesn't calculate with Mandibuzz mediocre 65 base attack, but rather with an opponent's one, which should be better, because the second move that I'm going to throw on this is Whirlwind. Then after that I'm going to do Toxic and Roost. Now with Toxic and Roost you can stall out a little bit, and with Whirlwind you can basically phase out any Pokemon that you do not want to phase with your Mandibuzz. So now it gives a suggested spread of 252 defense, 252 HP, and 4 attack. However, I do not want that 4 attack. So what I'm going to do is remove that, and I'm going to put that into special defense. I might also transfer that into speed for opposing Mandibuzzes and be able to toxic them before they toxic me, that sort of stuff. But you might want to put them in special defense instead. Now, why do I not want the 4 attack EVs? Because I have Foul Play, right? As I said, it calculates with the opponent's attack stat and not with mine. Now I have to look out because there is a fact that I am weak to Ball Beam right here. Now, Ball Beam is an abbreviation for Thunderbolt and Ice Beam on the same moveset, which generally, except for a few pokes, is an unresisted combination. Now there are a few pokes that are indeed resistant to it, and those are Magnezone, Lantern, then Chinchou of course, and there was one other which I did forget, so I do apologize for that, but the Magnezone family is resistant to it just because of type resistances, and the Lantern family because they are immune to electric when they carry the Volt Absorb ability, and they are resistant to ice because of their water type ability. So I'm gonna try if Chinchou is actually really good, or at least decent, because as you can see its attack stats are not as good. So therefore what we want to do is just put it in just put the investment in HP, because we might actually put that into into the speed stat, just because in NU I am used to playing UU and RU and Ubers. Then 67 is not really good, but in NU I think it is decent. So I'm just going to do it like this, just make that an offensive variant. And what I would like to do is go for a Thunder Wave, and Thunder Wave paralyzes the opponent and therefore lowers its speed and gives it a chance to not move that turn. Then I shall put on a Bolt Beam of my own and then a stab move in the form of Surf. I might think about Hydro Pump, but Surf is generally better because it cannot miss. Now, what do we want to carry on this? I don't quite know. I'm probably going to put on, what shall we do? Because I'm thinking maybe Expert Belt, which shall be interesting. However, there aren't that many Pokemon that will want to take a Surf, so might as well put a Mystic Water, which is kind of a cool thing. Let's just scroll just through it a little bit, which is a... let's see, because I do not want to put a choice item on this, because we do have the Thunder Wave, and otherwise I would probably put on a choice Scarf onto this Pokemon. Let's see, we shall just put on an Expert Belt. Maybe I can change it later. So I will make that a male variant and not make it shiny, because I do not like those colors. I am gonna nickname them. I'm just going to nickname, because this is Marlene, actually her favorite Pokemon. And then let's just name these after people from the SPT channel, and then we shall proceed to do that. Now, we at least have our resistance to Bolt Beam, but still we now have a ground and grass weakness for Chinchou. However, the Mandibuzz covers that up really nicely, which is good. However, it is also weak to rock, and that is also a weakness that we would want to cover up, and most probably with a Rapid Spinner, if that would be possible. Now, the most prevalent Rapid Spinner in NU is going to be Wartortle. However, I already have a water type, so therefore I am not going to use that. What I might use actually is going to be, I think that Torkoal might help, because that is a fire type and it gives really nice coverage in conjunction with Chinchou in the means of a fire, water, grass core. Now, let me just see if there are other good spinners that we would maybe want to use. But if I look like this, if I seem to look right, I think that Torkoal might be a good idea. So we are going to do that. However, Torkoals are generally physically defensive. As you can see, it has a massive a defense stat and a somewhat decent HP stat of 70. And our Mandibuzz was also physically defensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, and I'm going to make it specially defensive, and then make this a physically defensive variant. But first I am going to go and set this up. So I'm going to go for Rapid Spin, and Stealth Rock is also a good move, setting an entry hazard that hurts every foe on switching, except for the ones that carry the Magic Guard ability. Now then, Yawn is generally a good move, and Will-O-Wisp is as well. However, there we also have Lava Plume, which has a 30% chance to burn the opposing Pokemon, so we are going to put that on. Now I'm doubting whether to use Toxic or Yawn, because those are generally good moves. Maybe there are some moves in here, such as Clear Smog, which removes the stat changes, but we do have Mandibuzz with a Whirlwind attack already on there. So what we might want to do is let's put in Yawn, because we do not have a Sleep Inducer, I think. Yes, let's try Yawn. Let's see if that works. It's just going to be physically defensive. And then I need to nickname that. Let's see. Let's make it a... what does the shiny form look like? Yellow. Let's make it Zavi. And then we need to find Alana. And I actually saw her latest battle, in which she used a Simisage. And I have never used a Simisage, really, so I think that will be an interesting variant. Now, I don't know whether to... let's see what its base speed is 101, which is extremely high for NU. So therefore, I'm going to do a Pitaya berry. And I was doubting whether to use Pitaya or the other berry which raises speed, which is the Salac berry, but this seems to be a good variant. Now I will put on Focus Blast and then Giga Drain. Focus Blast is just for coverage for normal types and steel types and the like, and then substitute to get nearer to that Pitaya berry, and then maybe I could use Leech Seed when I got the Pitaya, but it just obstructs us, so therefore I do not want to use that. Same with Synthesis, and Leaf Storm only drops our attack, so I'm going to scroll down, and what we might want to use, what can be really gimmicky, is Hidden Power Ghost, because Ghost has a perfect coverage with Focus Blast. However, I cannot think of a Pokemon that will want to not take a Focus Blast and wants to take a Hidden Power, don't want to take a Giga Drain, maybe a Misdreavus, which can be very annoying, so I'm going to try Hidden Power Ghost. And then I'm going to do it like this, just a standard set. And then the EVs are just going to be like this. Yes, because if we do it with an even number, if we put 4 EVs in this, it will give us only 3 substitutes where we could have 4. Now I'm going to name this after Ilana. There we go. Yes, female. Let's see, what does she shiny? It's not that good in my opinion. Now, want to see, we do have a fire, water, grass core, and we do have 2 resistances to ground to cover up for these. And then the water resistances are caught up by these, and then a flying type weakness which is cover up our Roshu. Now I don't really know what to use else, but the thing is I want to use a physically offensive Pokemon right now, and I'm thinking to maybe using Golurk, because Golurk not only sets up Stealth Rocks, which is a possibility of him, but he can also block the Rapid Spin. But we already have Stealth Rocks on Zavi, so what I'm going to be doing is just not make it such a variant like this, but instead I'm going to make this a substitute Focus Punch variant, which is really a unexpected move generally, because they generally expect a Dynamic Punch, which 100% confuses the target, but a Focus Punch also gives us a substitute to protect us behind. So we are going to use that. Then just a standard EV should work. Might want to put this into defense, but because it is weak to grass and water, they generally want to attack with special attacks. Now, can I give this a gender? I cannot, but I am gonna make it shiny because I think it looks cool. And then we will name this after Matt. Okay. Yeah, I know that Marlene is not from the SPT channel, but still, she's a nice girl, and it is Mandibuzz, so therefore. Now, I'm looking at the team and I'm still thinking, what else is there a threat for? Because Matt has a weakness to ice, which is covered up by Roshu and Zavi, a weakness to grass, which is covered up by Marlene, Zavi, and Ilana, and then he has a weakness to ghost, which is covered up by just Marlene. Maybe you will want to throw in an immunity or something like that. But since I do not know what to do, I'm going to put in Ditto, which is a really interesting Pokemon because it has the ability Imposter, and on switch in, as it says, the Pokemon copies the foes it's facing. It copies its stats, moves, types, and ability except for the HP. So therefore, the only move that you are going to throw it in is just 252 in HP because it covers all these stats. And then we'll want to see, if we copy a hidden power, what hidden power do we want it to be? And generally that is going to be an ice type. So therefore I'm going to put in 30 in attack and 30 in defense, and then that means that we will get a hidden power ice attack if we copy hidden power ice. Now I only have one more person to name this after. I have multiple persons to name this after, but I also just name it after NecroStevo, which is a new uploader to the channel, and he is generally one of my favorite YouTubers, so therefore I am going to give him that nickname. Now let's just look for a battle. Let's see if someone works, and it is in RU, which is really unfortunate, so therefore I am not going to be doing that. I am going to be throwing in, maybe Murkrow can be a good substitute because it is the same typing, and then we are going to put in an Eviolite. because it is not an evolved Pokemon, so therefore it is really good for that. Then we have a Prankster ability, which makes all these moves go have a priority over others, give it +1 in its bracket that it's in. Now we want to see what move we want to use, and what I generally like is something like this. I might put in Sucker Punch actually over Foul Play, but that is generally not a good move, but I shall try that out. Let's make it just specially defensive, yes, and then just put 248 because it is weak to Stealth Rocks. Now that is still called Marlene, but still okay, I do agree with that. So it's still called Mandibuzz and you, but we can try to find a battle. Now this opponent has got multiple threats because GLHF, because that Combustion is really going to be an annoying thing. Because it has the speed boost ability, and then the Swallow is really fast and has the guts ability. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to start off with my Golurk, thinking that maybe the Combustion will want to lead, but indeed he does not do that. Now he probably will want to set up his Stealth Rock, so what I'm going to be doing is set up a substitute. He might want to switch because fearing the Stone Edge, however he goes for the knockoff, which is a good play on his part. Now looking at his team, he has got nothing to resist a Focus Punch. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be going for that as he sets up his Stealth Rocks, which is good for him, and this Focus Punch does not do as much as I had hoped. So I am just going to go for another one, just because he has to break this up with an attack, and he does not do that, which is unfortunate for him. Now, I don't know, I do outspeed him, because I went first with the substitute, or this must be a speed tie. So I am not going to take him out with a Focus Punch, but instead I'm going to go for the Earthquake, which is neutral, because it is a rock and bug type. Now Earthquake is super effective on rock, however it is resisted by bug, therefore making it neutral again. Now that is Armaldo taken down. He does have Float Soul in the wings, and the thing is that, give me 1 second guys. Okay, so my mom called out for me. Now Earthquake gains stab and Focus Punch gains nothing, therefore Earthquake is just as strong as Focus Punch. I think that he will want to go for an Aqua Jet, perhaps a waterfall attack, but he goes for the Crunch instead. Now we don't quite knock him out, which is unfortunate, and because we do have a Rapid Spinner, we can easily bring in Mats on time. Now the preferred Pokemon to switch into is going to be either Marlene or Zavi, and Marlene is probably the best because as she does take the recall from the rocks, from the Stealth Rocks, she does also have the resistance to the Crunch type attack. Now I go for the Sucker Punch because I'm fairly sure that this Pokemon will want to kill me with an Ice type attack, preferably Ice Beam or something like a Ice Punch, generally carrying Ice Beam for the mixed and just Ice Punch for full physical prowess. Now I don't know what this Pokemon will want to do, possibly a electric type attack, but if it wants to predict the switch with a hidden power grass, I am not that happy when I go into Roshu. So I am going to go for a substitute, just see what he will want to do exactly, and he's a special variant. He goes for the Thunderbolt, and I am going to be saving Marlene because I do have the priority in the forms of Sucker Punch and in the forms of my other moves because of the Prankster ability. Now he will want to probably bring in his Simisage, but I am not quite sure because he might have the hidden power grass. So I am going to go for the Thunder Wave, trying to cripple it, and it indeed does bring in the Simisage. Now Roshu does not carry the Eviolite, so I don't know whether he can take a hit. However, I do have the Ice Beam, I can hit it hard with that. It does 76%, and he does get the paralysis, which is really unfortunate for him, because that means that I can KO him next turn, and he does indeed forfeit, which is okay. That is what you generally do when you are not going to win, but I generally like to play along even though I know that I am losing. Some hacks, something might happen, like a paralysis for example, or a critical hit with which you might still win this battle. Now with me recording for 20 minutes, I'm going to try and get one more battle, at least see if anyone will want to do in a new battle, and that went surprisingly fast. This person, Smogon, has got a Liepard, which is really unfortunate because that also has the Prankster ability, and that is really annoying. Now I don't know what he will want to lead with, probably historical, so he might also lead with the Liepard. Now if he does do that, he does not, so what I'm going to be doing is I am going to go for the Thunder Wave, predicting it. Oh, he does have the Ghost Gem and he does outspeed me, which is unfortunate because he does have the Unburden ability. And for those of you who do not know, Unburden is going to be a okay, let's see. Let me just look at these things. Okay, yes, Unburden is the ability that when you use your item, then your speed gets doubled, so that is extremely unfortunate for us. However, he does have this Reaper guy, and I do get the special defense drop, which is extremely good. Now, I do want to deal a little bit of damage to it, actually, because I also don't know what to switch in. Excuse me for that hiccup. We might go into Marlane, but still I want to say switch. I don't want Marlane to be Thunder Waved. So I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball, hoping to not get paralyzed, but we indeed do get paralyzed. And now this time he is probably going to go for the Swagger or the Substitute, but he goes straight out for the attack. Now I don't really know what to go into. He probably will not be going for a Thunder Wave because on Golurk when I send it out, but he might outspeed with the Dark Pulse. I am fairly sure that he will. So probably Marlane is our best bet, hoping that we can outspeed it, go for the Thunder Wave of our own, hoping to cripple it. He might go into something else, hoping we break through this. Yes, we do indeed. Now, let's see what he will want to do. Let's just go straight for the Brave Bird attack, and hoping that we will try and take it out. And we do indeed, even though we are not an offensive variant. Now, at least that was Thunder Wave, so therefore he was not really that happy with it, even though he does have the... let's see, does it get... No, it does not get that ability that I was thinking of. Let's see, shall we go for the Sucker Punch or the Thunder Wave? Because Matt probably doesn't outspeed it, so I'm gonna go for the Thunder Wave actually, even though he might have the Heal Bell. And this is really unfortunate that he does have this attack. So I don't really have a phaser because we don't have Whirlwind now because Mandibuzz is not yet changed. We shall probably go for a substitute attack, predicting another Cotton Guard, and then next turn he has to attack, so we have to go for the Sucker Punch basically. He might go for the Heal Bell, and no, this does nothing. This does almost no damage. He is at +6, so the best bet for us is to hit it on the the special side rather, and not the physical side. So therefore next turn I'm going to go into Elana to hit it on the specially offensive side, especially defensive side rather. This opponent plays really well. He's got some really nice sets. I am going to go for the substitute because then I might get my Pitaya Berry whenever I get below 50% because of Gluttony. So I only need to do 2 of these. I am going to go for a Giga Drain, trying to do a little bit of damage. And that does do a lot. I don't know why I used Giga Drain though. I should have probably put on Energy Ball. Let's use another Giga Drain and see if he knocks us below 50%. No, he does not, which is extremely unfortunate. Now, we can go for another substitute because he does 44% and we do 25% to ourselves with the substitute. Now we do get the Pitaya boost, and he goes for Discharge, trying to fish for the for the paralysis, hoping he doesn't get it this turn, and he does not, which is extremely good. Now we want to think about what Heal can do. He'll probably stay in. Yes, he will. And we get up to 40% even with the Giga Drain. So because of Gluttony, Giga Drain could be a good move. I am just thinking, I don't think that Bug resists Ghost. I know that Bug resists fighting, so that is not a good move. And Bug and Grass both resist Grass, so therefore that is not a good move. So Hidden Power Ghost is our way to go. We do score a critical hit, which is extremely good. And now our only pain right here is the Drifblim, actually, because I don't know whether it will outspeed. I don't think it will. And let's just go for the Hidden Power, see whether he does. If he does, that is going to be unfortunate. And he doesn't kill, or, well, we don't kill him, but he does kill us with the Clear Smog. Now, his abilities, or his moves, if I remember correctly, are going to be Clear Smog, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and Explosion. So therefore, I think Zavi might be able to live one hit and then be able to go for a Lava Plume attack, hoping that that kills him. If that doesn't, yes, it does only 50%, which is really good, and with leftovers we're going to be a little bit above our health. Now, the Dunsparce, actually, I don't know if he sends it out now. No, he does not. The Dunsparce that he has over there is probably going to be a Serene Grace variant, and this is an offensive Torkoal, which is unfortunate. Now, we have a few options. We might predict maybe a Lava Plume, hoping that he doesn't burn us, or a Will-O-Wisp, so I'm going to go for the substitute, hoping that he doesn't outspeed. He most probably doesn't, but he does indeed, and he burns us, which is unfortunate, so that is probably going to be a GG, I think. So that is extremely unfortunate that he did burn us, because if he did not burn us with that Lava Plume, then we most probably would have been able to win, because this will definitely not be able to kill him. Now, hoping for a max damage, we can kill him, but indeed he doesn't do that, and that is extremely unfortunate, as I said. So I hope you guys did enjoy this Pokemon Showdown live. If you guys did, do leave a like rating for the Snowpoint Temple channel. Go check us out at snowpointtemple.com/chat if you want, and go chat with us, and then take on the Gym Leader League challenge, because that has been reset as of the 1st of, I think it's July, not June, but July. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.